we've talked about things that sap our speed. Let's talk about some two components of speed: productivity per person and utilization. Now, some of this overlaps, but productivity per person is a measure of how many items one person can get done each week, each day. And for that, we need the proper skills, we need good automation, we need excellent tools. We see a lot of teams with generalist developers who are given every assignment under the sun. And developers, we're used to learning things, but we're not typically good at judging when a certain path is going to be a black hole of, I'm stuck. Because we think, oh, sir, I'll be able to figure that out. I'll be able to. But we have to be honest with ourselves. I've never done that before. So if we're not honest about that, then we sign up for something, we grab something that we've never done before, and now we're basically putting ourselves in homeschool. We're not actually working on the item. We're doing a little bit of homeschool research so that we can figure out how to even progress in this. If someone's never done a type of work before, train them first, or raise your hand and say, look, I need someone to show me this because I've just never done it before. Train first, then work. It's just like sharpen the axe first and then swing it against a tree. Don't take a dull axe and just try to hit it harder. If the same, I just said that flippantly, but the axe analogy is a really long time analogy. If we swing a dull axe at a tree 100 times, we may chop down the tree, but it's 10 times more effort or more than using a sharp axe. And it takes 10 times as long. All right. So important. Train first, then work. Next is automation. In today's world, there's really no excuse for having your team do manual builds, copying files to servers, configuring settings by typing in or remoting into servers or cloud services, or jumping in to check log files. Everything should be automated. Everything repeatable should be automated. The builds, the testing, deployments, monitoring, all of it should be automated. And we know how to do this in 2024. All right, finally, the tools. If your team doesn't have the best tools, they're not going to go fast. Just like a race car, or a race dirt bike. If you want speed, you need equipment. Some of the basics are very fast computer and a network, the ReSharper add-in into Visual Studio Enterprise. Don't try to use Visual Studio Community or VS Code or Visual Studio. Use the best tools that you can get. Okay, and finally, let's talk about the utilization. Let's circle back to the utilization because we talked about that. That's the huge problem for why a team isn't moving fast enough. And again, it's not that the team isn't working very much. Oftentimes, teams that are going slow overall are working nights, working weekends, way more than 40 hours a week. The team may be working 100 hours a week, but if all that time is going to fixing bugs and production issues, then very little of that time is going to go to new features and valuable changes. So from a cost perspective, your software is ultra expensive to maintain, and all of your software department's budget is going to maintenance, and very little is actually going to new development. Okay, so you need to prevent every defect, and you need to prevent every production issue. Now, you're not actually going to ever arrive and be perfect on that, but you need to put a lot of mental energy to that, and you need to make a lot of progress towards reduction of defects and reduction of production issues with the mental goal, with the team goal of 0 defects, 0 production issues. Again, you're never going to achieve perfection, but you're going to get a heck of a lot closer than if you didn't have an intentional strategy for that. Okay. We put out lots of other content around practices and tools for preventing defects and preventing production issues. But the first step is realizing which one of these is your nemesis. Is your system always having trouble? Do business disruptions constantly sabotage your day? Or are pre-production defects the bigger problem for you? Do you have a feature backlog as well as a bug backlog? Are you having to prioritize bugs because you have so many and you have bugs that haven't even been fixed for years? The biggest problem and reason some teams can't move fast is because they don't have much time left to write code or work on features after handling all the problems that their previous code has caused for them. A mindset change is needed first. Establishing quality has to be first, then achieving stability in production. And then once you have your team's capacity back under control, where you can actually put effort towards moving forward, then you can work on speed. When only a fraction of your team's time is working on features, working on new code, thinking about going faster isn't going to get you much. Okay. Now, this is the engineering structure of a automated DevOps environment that your team should have. We've gone into depth in other webinars. I'm not just going to gloss over it here, but if you don't have this DevOps architecture poster, then just send me an email or look in the chat. This is what the full poster looks like. I just showed you the top third of it. But if you want a high resolution PDF of this poster, you can take it to a print shop and you could get it printed on architecture D paper that's 2 foot by 3 foot in printed form. That could be a good tool for your team. And we got some open source samples online that you can also use. But this has been a whirlwind of information. My goal is that you guys are able to really be highly effective, be world class at delivering software. We love helping teams along this journey, and whether it's an in progress project that you have or a project that you're planning, put it on firm footing. So we do have a free assessment that you can use to gauge how your teams stack up. And so I invite you to use this as a free resource, clearmeasure.com/assessment. And I want to be as efficient as I can delivering this content. And I was able, I think, to answer all of the questions in line. Thank you for those that submitted questions. I was able to kind of work them in as we were going through. But thank you so much for your time, and have a terrific Tuesday, and God bless you.